Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are going to be beginning the narration and character voicing for the Rewinding Breeze side story in Arknights. Or rather, should I say the side stories, considering Rewinding Breeze is more a collection of individual side stories than a big long narrative. But all in due order. So this is going to be our third story that we are going to be covering on the channel during this CC11 season. As voted by you guys in the recent YouTube community poll that I put up, so thank you again for all the votes that came in. The other two stories, for anybody new who has not seen those, would be Children of Ursus and Ancient Forge. Both of those are already done and fully on the channel, so if you want to watch those and miss those, links are in the description of this video. So then, Rewinding Breeze. Right. Like I said, this is gonna be a collection of individual stories, all mostly focused around the character that you see on their individual story cards. And yeah, if you have no idea about the stories that they are part of or where they appear before, it's fine. This is more so a look into like random individual missions that they are partaking in, or just random days that they are experiencing. It's pretty much a breeze. Anyway, outside of that, this is the one and only side story in which Surtur is in. Yep, to this day, since all the way back then when this side story was introduced, this is literally the only piece that I remember from the top of my head where she is actually in. I don't even remember if she appears in any kind of side story like a small little side character or just a cameo or whatever the hell, just on the sidelines appears for a brief moment, but yeah, this is pretty much it. Which is kind of nuts to think about, considering how popular she is, obviously, in the community and stuff. And on top of which, her own file, full file, plus voice files, is very bare bones. I mean, it makes sense considering her memory impairments and stuff. There is not really much to write when there is not really much to write about. Or the information rather is very vague and very inconsistent. And I do hope that one day they're gonna integrate her into something, or rather bring her back in some kind of side story and explain her background. Because it does feel like it could be interesting, especially with her very own operator name. Plus the skills being very aptly named as well for this character, and the way her memory stuff works kind of brings something to mind, but I will say that after we are done with our first of three little individual stories for today. So yeah, in this part 1 we are going to be covering the first story, Homecoming, the second one, Expatriates, and the third one, Astray. The next 4 we are going to cover in the next 2 parts of this narration series. And yeah, let us begin with our first one, shall we? So, this is the first story for today, titled Homecoming. (7:10 AM) Clear. Casdell excerpts. This is the mission location. Judging by the image, this should be the place. The nomadic hamlet, Beloni village. Oh, also, quick little side note, and this one is more so about Meteorite. When you see this, just a really legit question. When you see this character's facial expression, what is the first kind of voice that you were imagining for this character? If you have never heard this character's VA, and you do have her, go into her voice files and look at the face and listen to the voice. It's like night and day from what you expect to hear from a character like this. At least from the art itself, how serious she looks and stuff. Anyway. Though I think you could just call the entire village an oversized minecart instead. It's a mining town that carries around its own originium-powered drills to keep itself going. The people bring in some revenue just selling the excess resources to nearby cities. If they find any big ruins, they even ask the large nomadic cities to front the excavation costs. Maybe, but this place still looks pretty rough. There is dust everywhere and the fences are all run down. There are obvious signs of habitation, but no one cares to do maintenance. I don't see anything worth investigating. Most of Terra isn't very interesting, but the people living in these uninteresting places still have their own unique lifestyles. Wait, give that back! What? You said you'd share your ice cream! Stop running, you're gonna squish it before we get home. Idiot. Idiot, give that back! No way, I'm faster than you anyway. I'll be there. I'll be the one to bring it back to Dad. Wait up! There are many who struggle to survive in such terrible environments, but that doesn't mean they're unhappy. They chase after one another for a mere ice cream without regard to the commotion they are causing. They think they will be the same when they grow up. You call this happiness? Are you angry? Why would some inconsiderate kids running around kicking up dust anger me? She's totally angry.
Sorry, are you the operators from Rhode Island? Real sorry to keep you waiting.
Yes, we are. Nice to meet you. Are you the local liaison?
Yeah, that's right. I'm the leader of Beloni Village. Come with me. No need to stand around out here. Let's go in. This way.
Thank you.
Before the mission, Rhode Island Command Center.
Beloni Village is a typical mining community located at the edge of Kasdal. A cave-in a few months ago completely sealed off the mines. Not only were the mines ruined, the village's travel route and trading channels were also blocked. For the past few months, the village has been requesting aid from nearby nomadic cities, but there has not yet been any city willing to help. Meteorite, I would like you to carry out preliminary investigations and report on the situation. We will organize a rescue mission based on that report. Understood. This doesn't sound like a particularly tough mission. The village's problems don't appear to be related to catastrophe or ripathy, but don't let your guard down. Roger that, but Is Surtur going too? I don't think I'll need much help. There is something I want to investigate in that area. Surtur asked to go along for personal reasons. We've approved her request. I won't be a burden to you, just pay me no mind.
We're a small village. Just wait here for a moment. I'll go and grab some tools first.
Oh, we have some basic prospecting tools with us.
No good. The mine entrance to at the edge of the village has been sealed off with our own special tools. Without those unlocking tools, it can't be opened. Our village is pretty good at excavation, if I do say so myself.
Even with all that experience, you still got yourself stuck here.
That's true.
Please forgive her. She doesn't mean it. Hey, don't be rude.
Though we are really ashamed that, for all our experience excavating, we still couldn't stop a major cave-in. Part of the drill sunk into the collapsed area, so it's not safe to send anyone else over there. Even with Rhode Island's help, we're going to put some new precautions in place. Just rest here a minute, I'll get the stuff.
Alright, please do. You know, you could stand to be a little more polite. I'm just stating facts. This is so awkward. I've heard Surtur is tough to get along with, but I thought we'd at least have something to talk about.
Surtur, in the meantime, recording.
Are you taking notes for a status report? No. So... You don't know? I thought my file was public. I did read it, but...
Surtur, the file mentioned her. Due to a memory impairment of unknown origins, she has difficulty
reconciling her memories. It is as if there is a large volume of memories existing simultaneously in her mind. The volume is such that Surtur is unable to properly recognize which of her memories are real and which are false. And so she has been seeking out the places in her memories one by one. The personal reasons Dr. Kaltzit mentioned are some places around here, you remember? When Dr. Kaltzit was telling me about this area, I felt a sense of familiarity. And I felt some déjà vu when looking at photographs and records. Now that you're here at the village, do you recall anything? Nothing at all. When walking through the village, I saw the passing children and the run-down houses. They are similar to the images in my memories, yet completely different. I do not know why. Have you checked every spot in the village? At a quick glance, I haven't missed anything. How about we ask the villagers later? Maybe the village you remember is from a while ago? It could have been rebuilt. Perhaps. The smell of dried plants in the air is no different from my memories. When I close my eyes, it is as if I am on familiar streets. The footsteps of children running by are like the sound of friends chasing one another in my memories. Yet when I open my eyes, I see nothing but unfamiliar landscape. Dr. Kaltzit sent me on this mission, so let me help you investigate. We'll look for clues in the village together after we're done with the mine collapse thing. No need. I can handle it myself. I understand how it feels to have no past or a place to call home. As Sarkas without a Sarkas home, I'm always fighting together with the others, pressing on. My situation is different. Maybe it's different, maybe it's the same. Maybe we're all just looking for a place to belong in the end. But as you look towards the unknown future, you can't ignore what's right beside you. That's what Amia taught me.
Sorry for the wait. Let's head out now. I'm all ready.
Anyway, let's go complete our mission first. So this is it.
Yep, this is the cave-in. Watch your step. The excavation site is over there. The cave-in caused the surrounding area to sink downwards, so this entire area had to be sealed off. This cave used to be the entrance to a tunnel that connects to the neighboring village. Now that it's sealed, we can't trade with our neighbors.
Surtur? I think I remember this path. Sir, what's the relationship between this village and the neighboring one?
It's a mining village just like ours. Since the nearby villages are all in the same business, we deal with each other a lot. Some villagers even move back and forth between the communities. But the cave-in blocked off our only means of communication. They've probably already moved on to keep mining.
The course of this path, the direction, it's getting more familiar. I used to pass through this place often. The familiar figures of children run past me and disappear among the piles of rocks up ahead.
You want to go to another village? If we got the path open, we could contact them pretty quickly.
That would be great. Surtur? I'm not willing to wait that long. Huh?
What?
Move aside. Surtur, wait! I know you're eager to find answers, but the mine isn't safe right now. Think for a minute before you put yourself in danger! Meteorite, just wait for me outside and guard the entrance.
The girl, she actually smashed through the rubble and rushed in?
Hey, wait!
Stop! Don't go in there too! You're risking another cave-in!
Damn it! Surtur!
Deep within the mine, the traces of heavy machinery are obvious. The path snakes ahead, as if guiding Surtur forward.
So this is the path to that other village. It's just an originium slug nest now. It looks like they took over the empty space in the past few months. Troublesome. Children holding hands walk along the path, passing by the countless traces of originium slugs, disappearing into the darkness ahead. Huh? An explosion!
Another cave-in? That girl is in danger. What do we do?
The streets in my memories were filled with the rich aroma of the earth, not the scent of dried plants. The companions in my memories would not chase after one another, ice cream in hand. The buildings looked the same, yet were completely different. It was not just minor differences in the design, even the materials and structures were completely different. I'm hurt. Ow! My palms scratched. Never thought there would be a day I got distracted enough to get ambushed by originium slugs. There's another empty space beneath the mining pit.
Rustling. It's the sound of originium slugs. More rustling and more rustling.
The ruins of a city in a giant cavern?
Surtur enters the cavern deep beneath the earth. Beside the glow of originium slugs, she can trace the outlines of buildings among the piles of stone and rubble. Tiles of a road, bricks of a wall. It is very clear that the entire place has been buried for a very long time. Dozens of years, hundreds of years. Surtur does not know either, yet she has found that which she is looking for.
Here! Surtur! Thanks for pinpointing the location. I was able to break the rock layer at the correct spot. What were you thinking? Why would you rush into such a dangerous place all by yourself? I was doing a little thing called investigating. Incidentally, I discovered the cause of the cave-ins. There was a nest of originium slugs below the mine, inside a giant cavern. The mining put more pressure on the bottom, so the whole thing just collapsed. I destroyed the originium slug nest and used the cave-in to seal up the entire cavern. Done. Though we skipped over these standard procedures, the issue was resolved.
What?
Huh? So, you solved the whole problem by yourself, but you didn't find a path to the neighboring village? Right, I realized that neither village was the one in my memory. I made a mistake. There aren't any memories I'm looking for here. You'd messed up something you recorded so diligently as this, all this while? I suppose I would. I've seen something like this before. You run into all sorts of problems on the way to your goal. It's thanks to the people beside me that I've made it this far. I'm used to it. After all, this isn't the first time there was a discrepancy in the places I remember. But even if you didn't find the right place today, you still have a place to call home, right? Are you trying to say I can rely on you too? I guess you could put it that way.
Ladies, I've notified the others in the village. The exploration team is getting ready. It sounds like you've taken care of things and we can get back to mining.
Please wait for us to bring our data back to Rhode Island before you go back in there. We wouldn't want any more accidents.
That's fine. Everyone's too excited. I really have to thank you both. If you don't mind, why don't you spend the night in the village? You'll be our guests of honor.
Well, we have to hurry back, so I'm afraid we'll pass. But could I have an ice cream?
And that's the entire story around Surtur, and yeah, there really isn't much to go on. However, I did say that I do have something in my mind for a while now for her, and it's mostly based around, once again, this is pure speculation based on how usually Surtur is used in any kind of mythological aspect, yada yada, you know, what the character behind, or rather the mythological character behind the name is steeped in, and how that character usually gets used in media. But yeah, Surtur, as a quick reminder, is in mythology a he, first off, but that doesn't really matter here, obviously. But in general, Surtur is regarded as the one who brings Ragnarok, or rather who starts Ragnarok, or with whom Ragnarok starts, and who fights Freyr. But in another use of the media, I'll say this, and this is purely based on the fact how her memories are also working, the fact that she appears to have multiple memories, potentially of different people inside of her. I had a speculation for a while now, and it's really not too far-fetched when you think about it, but again, it's speculation, obviously, that she might be a Faranmut, maybe, similar to other Faranmuts that we know, but maybe the creation of her went awry, and for some reason, instead of receiving memories for just one person to create one personality with, she got granted a mix of people, or rather a mix of memories that were meant for maybe other people. Who knows? Maybe there is a counterpart. Maybe there is a Sinmara out there. I mean, Surtur is already in possession of Leviathan, or rather, though her very first skill is Leviathan. Plus her third skill is a reference to Ragnarok itself. So my personal theory is she's a Faranmut who for some reason screwed up their memory transfer into memory and personality transfer into a human-shaped body, and we might one day meet the Ragnarok. Anyway, moving on to the next story. This one is titled Expatriates. Weapon reliability certification? What's that about? You need me to take my weapon down to the workshop for inspection and have the people there sign off on it? Do we really have to go through all of that just because I brought my own weapon? Can't you bend the rules a little bit, Professor? Just sign off for me. You can't? We have procedures. That's lame. Okay. I'll head over there if you insist. I only just got here. I don't want to get on Dr. Kotz's bad side. I'll see you later, Professor. As a quick little side note, the person that Irene is referring to as Professor is obviously the Doctor. That is just his own way of addressing the Doctor. Rhode Island Workshop... Rhode Island Landship, Workshop number 3, morning. Anybody home? Hello there. The workshop isn't open right now. All 5 of our craftsmen are involved in a weapon repair contest. If you need anything, please come back after 3 o'clock. Ah, weapon repair contest. They really have contests for everything, don't they? How does it work? Do you break the weapon first and then repair them?
Or is it about who polishes a shinier blade? Sorry to disappoint, but it's just a contest where you repair weapons damaged out in the field. But if you manage to make a weapon shiny enough to give it a deadly glint, I suppose you'd make a fair chance of winning. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. I'll give it a try next time. You weirdo. Well, have fun with that. I don't want to have to come all the way down here again. The craftsman may not be around, but you're here. It's just some routine inspection anyway. No need to take it so seriously. How about it, friend? Give it a quick look over and sign there. Sign right here. Sign right here. Weapon reliability certification. That's right. Your weapon needs to be inspected by 2 craftsmen before it can be approved. And I'm technically still an intern assistant. I'm afraid signing my name there isn't going to do you much help. So it needs to be signed off by 2 people? Perfect. We've got 2 people right here, you and me. You know my staff I know my staff better than anyone else, and I know for certain there is nothing wrong with it. If nothing happens, no one is going to find out. And if no one finds out, then we don't have a problem. Am I right? Oh, that's an interesting way to think about it. I don't recommend underestimating the people here though. Definitely not the strict ones. If something does happen, there's going to be quite a ruckus. Even though they aren't here right now, all the craftsmen will face punishment. It'll be even worse for the 2 of us. So inflexible. It may be inflexible, but it's effective. There are people who don't maintain their weapons well. Trust me, this is much easier than having to fix things on the fly out in the field. What kind of moron doesn't take care of his weapon? Fine, in that case, take a look at my weapon. You can at least do that for me, right? It really pissed me off if I had to come all the way here for nothing. Oh, sure, just a moment. Let me tighten this last screw. Okay. Sorry to keep you waiting. That look on your face tells me you are still planning something. It doesn't seem like you've quite given up yet. I'm not sure I understand. Here you go, this is my staff. Oh well. Okay, I'll inspect it for you. Just be careful with it, don't cause any accidents, and it should be fine, right? I'm counting on you. The inspection is going to take some time. Could you please wait here while I work on it? You're free to look around, but try not to touch anything in the workshop. Some of the craftsmen here like to work on dangerous things. You know what I mean, right? The ones they haven't finished yet are even more dangerous. On top of that, we have a lot of ores here with originium in them. You may be infected, but you should still be careful. No need to worry about me. I'm not that adventurous. Wait a second. Now that's weird. Did I ever tell you I'm infected? No, you didn't, but it isn't hard to tell. Explain. Is it obvious? How can I put it? I guess it's just my observation. There is quite a lot you can learn from someone's expressions, actions, and the logic in his behavior. It sounds kinda like you're pulling my leg. I'm telling the truth. Is this staff the only thing you need me to inspect? If there is anything else, I can take a look at those as well. Nope, that's it. I don't have a gun, unfortunately. What a coincidence, me neither. You're kind of weird. Intriguing. Thanks. That's not a compliment. There aren't any problems with the staff, just a quick glance should be enough. I have to look it over thoroughly. The materials that went into this staff are top grade. Is this thing hanging from your staff a caster source as well? Yes, but more importantly, and this is what I like about it, I can beat people up with it. Good thinking. It must come in handy in close quarter combat.
What's your name, craftsman?
Well, I'm not exactly a craftsman. I'm Anakiel, Reserve Op Team A4. I'm also an intern in this repair workshop. What about you?
Areen.
Your name really fits you. The main arts unit doesn't look like it has any damage to it, and the caster source hanging there doesn't have any apparent damage or cracks either. It looks like it's in pretty good shape.
What did I tell you?
Okay, moving on. Could you activate your Genium Arts with your staff? I need to check its feedback during use and verify its performance.
Just use my arts here. My arts are kind of wild.
Oh, could you describe what it's like?
Disintegrative and toxic.
Wow, that does sound fairly dangerous. In that case, why don't you put your staff in that transparent cabinet there? Then just put your hand in there from the opening on the side and use your arts. That way, even if your arts are as volatile as you said, we shouldn't have anything to worry about. Sounds like a plan.
Do I have to? Okay, fine.
Will this do? Okay, that's good. I'll activate the machine. Don't worry, if you feel pressure in your arm, that's normal. Okay, we're ready. You can use your Genium Arts now. No need to worry about hurting me.
I won't.
Areen uses Originium Arts. Alright, we're done here. I'll take care of the rest. Just leave me your staff and take a break over there.
Sure. Most Sancta care about guns and crossbows. You look like you're pretty familiar with staffs too. Are all Sancta outside Laterano like this?
It's just a master craftsman I work with, Ironhammer. He's an expert in maintaining and forging staffs. I also have some friends on my team who need their weapons looked after.
He's an expert in staffs, but his codename is Ironhammer.
That's right. The craftsmen here are all pretty laid back with their names. It left me dumbfounded for the better part of the day when I first got here. Look, their badges are all there. You can take a look if you're interested.
Don't mind if I do. Repair Workshop number 3, list of personnel. Iron Hammer, Tin Can, Rock, Rack Shield, and Gunject. That's more than being just laid back. This might be a good opportunity though.
Do they have to stencil their signatures on their badges? Of course not. That's just something they all did on one time out of spite. There was this one day when they had an argument over craftsmanship, so they all competed against each other, making their own badges using their respective trades. After they cooled their heads, they all thought it was pretty fun and agreed to wear the badges they made themselves in the workshop, and only use the standard issue ones outside. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Their signatures are all here. It's all handwritten too. Perfect, this will save me a lot of work. I just need to get my hands on 2 of these.
Areen glances over.
Perfect timing. Stamp this here. Done. These Originium Arts really come in handy. This signature is in Lateran.
Hey, Adnakiel, who's this guy? Oh, that's Gunject. He's from Laterano, just like us. He doesn't like to make anything gun-related, just swords.
So he doesn't have a gun?
Oh, he has one, but he doesn't like guns, as a thing. I heard he left his at home in Laterano and he hasn't been back since. There's nothing but bullet casings in that place. Just the sight of it gives me a headache. That's what he said.
I agree with him.
I have a feeling I'll get along with him pretty well. Well, unfortunately, he got into a fight with his family over that. He can't even go home anymore. If he really hates guns so much, I can't imagine him having many fond memories of Laterano. Does he still want to go back in spite of it all? Is Laterano such a great place that it takes everyone down memory lane? Now that you mention it, I never thought about it. So? What about you? Do you miss Laterano? Hard to say. I haven't lived there for a long time. Because of my halo, you see. After that I contracted a ripathy, which means I really don't have a way to go back. Wait, so your halo doesn't float like that because of a ripathy? Nope, I was born differently. That's kind of sad. When I was a kid, my parents always praised me and said that with a smile, so I've always thought of myself as pretty lucky. I was born different than others. Does that sound cool? Oh, of course, it was just a joke. Don't be modest. You are very different from the other weirdos here. In a bad way. Really? And here I thought I was pretty normal. I'm not that different from other Sancta. In fact, I have a lot in common with them. Such as? What do you have in common with them? Such as, let's see. Like how I can't wear a hat. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Wearing a hat like that, wearing a hat is like getting stuffed into an egg with no cracks. It's gross. Other than the Notorial Hall people or the Apostolic Knights, with all their training, I don't think there are many Sancta who could stand to wear a hat. Maybe some weirdos who love to fight. True. In any case, maybe it's because of my halo, but I couldn't get my firearm qualification, and my family moved out of Laterano shortly after that. And I was infected not long after. Laterano doesn't permit infected in its borders. I'm sure you haven't been back since your infection, am I correct? Yeah. That's why I don't feel particularly nostalgic about Laterano. I don't remember a lot about my childhood there either. Oh, but I still remember the baker down the street, John. He taught me how to make desserts, and he even put a lot of his recipes in a book for me when I moved away. Here we go. The Sancta and their sweet tooth. I really wish I didn't lose the book in the move. My parents got me a huge cake every year. They knew I couldn't finish it all, but they still left me home alone to deal with that block of sugary mess by myself. At the very least, my warhead muffins are no less decent than the muffins John used to make. I can still remember the aroma in his dessert shop. I remember that smell too. Every time I smell it, my throat starts to ache. Oh, I see you don't like desserts. I think you're the first Laterano I've met who doesn't. You can tell? Yep. I don't really normally tell people I can see through them, since they don't like it much. Most times I just keep my mouth shut. It doesn't seem like you mind though. Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind. Weirdos like you are more interesting than normal people. I think you're much more of a weirdo for not liking desserts. I'll try to make some that aren't as sweet. You'll have to give them a try. I wonder if the old baker is doing well. Maybe I should ask the messenger at logistics to help me out. I've come to understand one thing. You're a Laterano Sancta through and through. Even though you don't have a gun and your halo's tilted. You're right. I still have memories of that place. And it's just a city that I can't go back to, not my home. Your hometown is something you can always reach out for, no matter when or where. There's travel, mail, messengers, and photos that can move between the cities. If we really want to reminisce about our home countries, there are a lot of convenient ways for us to do that. You know, I get what you're saying. But there's also people who like to revisit a place to smell and touch it in person. Otherwise, they get homesick. Well, not that I care. Just remember to give me some of those desserts. Hello, Ambriel. Hias. Oh, hias, new meat. So what's your name, cutie? Areen. Hi there, Areen. A nutshell, you know the drill. Take care of my gun, okay? You can just leave it over there. I'm still working on Areen's weapon. Sure. What's that smell? It smells so good. It's unlike anything on the market. Is one of you guys wearing perfume? If you like how I smell, come and get the sniff you want. Think I'm gonna pass. Something tells me that's not a good idea. But if that smell can knock me out for the whole day, I'll think about it. You know that guy with the poker face? He's trying to get me to fulfill my obligations again. Instead of running away all the time, I'm thinking it means hella more sense if I just pass out for the day. Actually, those guys are so brain dead, just a day probably isn't gonna be enough. What a pain in the butt. The guy with the poker face. You mean the one from the Notorial Hall? Who else? They haven't come for you yet. Like to oversee your fulfillment of your obligations as a citizen and all that? They have. But the last guy who kicked my door down while I was taking a nap is still running around taking care of some business for me. They may be trouble, but they also know how to take care of troubles. If you figure out how to use them, they aren't so bad. Wow, you sound like such a baddie. Nice. Should I say thanks? No thanks. Areen, I'm finished inspecting your staff. The casting circuits have corroded a little, but everything else is fine. The tiny bit of corrosion isn't going to affect your arts, but if you want me to do some maintenance work on it, I can take care of that right now. When the craftsmen are here in the afternoon, you can come back and have them sign the certification. Even if it looks like you don't need them to. Here you go. Thanks. Now let's take a look at Ambriel's rifle. It's all yours. You don't work on the gun yourself. I do. But that's such a pain sometimes. This is easier. Just wait for it to break. Well, I can't have that. If I lose my gun, I lose my pay. And if I lose my pay, I lose my chance to slack off. I'm not that stupid. You're more serious than I thought. If I didn't need my gun to get by, I wouldn't mind letting it gather dust in my closet. Oh, I guess I could probably do that in Laterano. But if I actually left it to gather dust, I'd have some relative of mine cause on my case the very next day. That's why I gave up on that idea. Ambriel, your rifle's fine. It didn't have any problems to begin with. I calibrated it just last week. You just gotta put some oil on it and we should be good. Alright. Do you think keeping a gun around is a hassle at times like these? It's not bad. I get by somehow. Just like when you ran all the way here from Uterano. You don't hold back, do you? You'll never be popular with girls if you're that blunt up front, you know? My apologies then. Were you offended? Not really. You're right, I'm more or less like that. I'm not a very good fit for that place. Rather than leaving to defend the city and get yelled at about glory and honor all day, I'd rather make myself some money. There's less to worry about and life's a lot more comfortable. What's not to like? It sounds like you don't have many fond memories of Laterano. If life's not bad, anywhere's fine. It's not like there's a rule that Sancta have to live out their lives in Laterano anyway. The world's a big place. Gotta see more of it. Your rifle's ready, Embryo. Thanks. Yep, I couldn't make it prettier if I tried. You two keep talking. I'll head back and chill. Laters. See ya. It's almost time for lunch. Is there anything else you need me to look at? If not, I'll lock up and head out to eat. Alright. Do you want to get lunch together? No, I already have plans with Executor. You know, from the Notorio Hall. It seems like he has something important to tell me. Do you think he'd owe me one if I told him Ambriel stopped by here? That's a joke, isn't it? It is. You really joke around quite a lot. I can tell you're kidding, but others might not be able to tell, so I suggest you be a little more careful with that. No need to worry about me. Oh yeah, are you going to be around this afternoon? Yeah, I'll be back here after lunch. Alright. You know, your observation is on another level, but there's one thing you got wrong. I'll be back this afternoon. It sounds like this Gunject is a pretty interesting person. I wouldn't mind stopping by again, just to meet him. I'll see you again in the afternoon. I'm back, Professor. Of course, I went to the workshop. Oh, I can't give you this though. You can tell? There's no one at the workshop, unfortunately. I copied their signatures. They didn't sign off on it. I thought I would turn this in and get it over with, but you saw right through it. Adnakiel was right, the doctor is sharp. Don't worry, I'll go there again in the afternoon. Give me another certification form. I'll get their real signature after they finish with their competition. I got more honest all of a sudden. Don't say that, Professor. Haven't I always followed your instructions? Come on, don't give me that look. Why did I change my mind? I met a lot of interesting people, and it's not a bad idea to spend a little more time because of that. How's that? Is that a good reason? And that would be our second story for today. So, let's go on to our third and final story for this episode, titled Astray. We spend our entire lives flying. Has anyone ever stopped to wonder where we will end up? The humid breeze from back home and the sea lion taste it leaves in the mouth. The scorching sun, the unbearably high temperatures, the marks the hustle and bustle leave behind on the skin, and the air currents that gather in the open, spacious city. I've experienced it. I've experienced it all. Maybe someday I will make it back to that place. 10:10 a.m. Clear. Rhode Island Landship, cabin number 2, operator rest area.
Okay, it's up to you to let everybody else know, Mr. Elysium. I've already talked to the logistics department about the ingredients we need, and I'll figure out the menu with Peter. We should be able to make most homemade fare ourselves, but we'll need help with the more complicated dishes. Alright, Lazy said she could help us write the invitations. Her handwriting is pretty, and her stroke movements are so beautiful and swift. Just watching her write makes me want to learn calligraphy.
Well, you certainly have everything in order. I didn't expect Miss Lazy to offer her help. We need to contact the Yan and Lungman operators on this list, who are currently out in the field, correct? Just leave it to me. I'll get every last one of them.
I'm so glad you're helping us, Mr. Elysium. I didn't expect there to be so many people from the old country here at Rhode Island. I really love that feeling of everyone coming together. It makes everything so lively. Having so many people in one place. I wonder if the people out there right now will make it back on time, though. I really hope they do. I guess it's probably going to be difficult, but there's always a chance. Oh, of course. We welcome everyone. Would you like to join us, Mr. Elysium? You can bring your friends with you too. The more the merrier.
Really? That's wonderful. I'll bring as many as I can. This is an opportunity not to be missed. The more the merrier, right? That's what we're good at.
Of course, we welcome all of you. But please don't go overboard either. Dr. Kaltsin would probably yell at us.
Don't worry, I know our limits. If you're afraid of getting yelled at, you'd better not invite this guy. If courting disaster is a talent, then he is the most talented person I've ever seen.
Oh, Mr. Thorns, good morning.
Morning.
Oh, come now, we both know you are much better than me when it comes to courting disaster. Don't remember who it was that wrecked the steel plates in the Connect area last time, but did I have to bear the brunt of misclosures, Tyred?
How would I know? Wasn't it because you brought her little robot up to the deck and it shattered to pieces?
That wasn't my fault. Andriana was shooting her ink balls there. She caught me off guard and that's how the thing slipped out of my hand. Wait a minute, why would Miss Andriana do something like that on the deck? She doesn't seem like the kind of person who would do that.
She was trying out her crossbow. I added something to emulate the feeling of shooting a Laterano gun.
So yeah, I know I keep saying this in other portions of stories when it always comes up. But yeah, if you know Andriana's art, and you know the weapon she's wielding, and you haven't heard about it yet, that thing is not a gun. It is not a Sancta gun or a gun in general. That is a crossbow. Moving on. So it was your fault after all. No wonder the gun nut was so excited. What's wrong? Huh? Who's there?
Oh, Synth! Why are you hiding over there? Come here! Oh, are you afraid of those two? It's okay, don't be shy. They aren't scary. Besides, I'm here. Pure Stream, don't pull on my sleeve. I'm coming. Sorry, am I interrupting? There's something I wanted to talk to Mr. Thorns about. If it isn't good time right now, I can come back later.
Not at all. We're all co-workers. There is no need to be so formal. She's here for you. I certainly didn't expect a girl to be willing to talk to you, with that poker face of yours. This really puts my mind at ease.
It's none of your business. What is it that you need?
Right, I'm sorry to bother you right now, Mr. Thorns. There's something I wanted to ask you about maintaining my weapon.
Interesting. Is this guy known for maintaining his weapons? Now that you mention it, it's about time I get my communicator fixed. Tell me, do you think Miss Closure will forgive me and make some enhancements to my communicator if I bring her a present after my next mission? If you bring her something garlic flavored, I can guarantee you she won't. Did you bring your weapon? Let me take a look.
Thank you. It's right here. My weapons arts unit is a little different compared to what other casters use. It's a little more complicated to maintain the parts inside. Oh, please be careful, the trigger is kind of loose.
It's old. Is this the kind of arts unit they use in Ursus?
Yes, it belonged to my father.
If you've listened to or read the Children of Ursus story, then you know how she got it.
I asked old Mr. Helliger about it, and he told me to take good care of the staff, otherwise it could affect the performance in the future. He also told me you can mix good reagents for weapon maintenance. And I'm very sorry to ask this out of the blue, but if it's okay with you, could you...
Very well.
Could you please help me... Huh?
Yes, I will help you. I've actually just come up with a new idea. If you can trust me with your weapon, I can give it a try.
Yes, thank you. Isn't that great, Synth?
You better not test anything weird on your weapon. I'm not doubting the effectiveness of your reagents, but every time you make something new, they always turn out pretty weird. It'll be fine this time. How can you be so sure? I've already tested it on your weapon. Huh? I'm just kidding.
Are they always like this? They seem to get along really well. Yeah, they're both from Iberia. Iberian operators are pretty much all really good friends. It's a wonderful feeling to meet people from back home when you are so far away. I was so happy when Miss Feeder, the famous movie star, gave me her autograph. She's a huge celebrity where I'm from, and all my friends and neighbors love her. And now we're so close that we go shopping together. Oh, right, Miss Lazy too. She may look scary, but she's actually a really nice person. Have you seen what she does to broken video monitors? She just whacks them like this. I thought it'd break them, but that's how she fixes them.
This makes me feel so old. That is literally what I was doing to my good old CRT TV. when it was losing like the picture, just smack the shit out of it and it suddenly works.
Isn't that how you fix electronics? You just need to hit them when they aren't working well.
Well, maybe that's how you fixed all electronics, but please don't do that on newer kinds. Newer kinds don't take very well to getting smacked.
That's true. Everyone back home does that. It works like a charm.
Yep, if it doesn't work, whack it a few more times.
Yep, exactly.
I see. So they are all friends back home.
Oh, cheer up, don't look like that. I know you're thinking about Zima, Leto and the others, right? I'll come with you next time. I'm friends with Leto. You two will hit it off right away. Once you get to know each other, it'll be much easier to talk to them.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'll have to talk to them sooner or later. Sooner or later, she says. Sooner or later. Still waiting for that to happen.
Thanks, Pure Stream. Oh, you don't have to thank me. It makes me kind of embarrassed.
What a wonderful display of friendship. Dazzling, don't you agree? I love seeing these situations play out before my eyes. This reminds me of how shy I used to be when I first got here. Are you sure you were ever shy? Of course I was. Stop ruining my moment. Even I need time to ease into things. Besides, Rhode Island used to be a very different place. We didn't have that many people on board, and everyone was a lot more serious than they are now.
Really? I can see Dr. Katz being strict. She still is. But how about everyone else? How was Miss Closure? And what about Amia?
Well, you know how Miss Katz is. As for Closure, since she was always busy, we rarely got a glimpse of her. She only slowed down a little after she got everything on the ship in order, before getting busy again with the robots. Let's see, it was about 2 years ago when I first got here. Amia was still a kid back then. She was a bit shorter, like a sprout. I have to say, she still isn't quite an adult, even though her expression is a lot different now.
What was the doctor like 2 years ago? Was the doctor here too?
I believe the doctor joined shortly before we did.
Really? But I thought the doctor was one of the founders of Rhode Island.
Well, that's a tough question to answer. To tell you the truth, I'm not entirely sure what happened myself. I think something happened to the doctor before I got here, and not many people know about it. The captain wouldn't tell me either. Anyway, I never met the doctor until everything that went down in Lungmen. Ace certainly did raise the topic from time to time, though. In any case, I'd say the way things are now isn't too bad. Amia, Dr. Kalsid and the doctor all get along with each other, and we're bringing in more and more operators. Things are going to get even busier here. From that point of view, I think I made the right decision when I decided to stay. I've had my fill of gloomy, boring places. I may not be a messenger, but I still get a chance to travel to different places, see different sights, and have a place to call home. That's more than enough for me. Speaking of which, have you been back since you left? Where? Iberia. Not even once. Even if we wanted to go back, it's not quite possible, is it?
Both of you are from Iberia, right? I haven't heard much about that place. What is it like? If you can't go back, don't you miss home?
Nope.
Ah, well, I guess I do miss Iberia a little. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked.
No, it's not really a big deal. It's just, how should I say this? Yeah, there really isn't much worthy of mention there, now that I think about it. Oh, don't look like that. It's not as if I have any painful memories of the place. But yeah, Iberia was pretty boring for me.
Even though it's your homeland?
Yeah, it's boring. It's depressing to no end. I couldn't live there, and so I left. That's all there is to it. Aside from that, I guess it wasn't so bad. That's what you think. To us Igerians, Iberia isn't a very friendly place.
Oh, I've heard a little about that, but I don't know much about it. There weren't a lot of Igerians where I lived, after all.
Most Igerians lived on the streets in the city outskirts, or stuck it out near the blockade line until the Inquisition went after them. Very few of us were lucky enough to live a peaceful life. The Inquisition rounded up a lot of people they deemed threats, and rightfully so.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda scary. If I remember correctly, you're an Igerian too, aren't you, Pure Stream? Yeah, but there are people of all races in Yan, so no one seemed to mind. I haven't heard of Igerians being barred from any official positions either. Everyone's equal. Now that I think about it, Rhode Island doesn't care much about races either. When I first got here, everyone really took good care of me. Just like Mr. Elysium. He helped me out on my first field mission. Me too. On my last mission, some enemies got the drop on me. It's all thanks to Mr. Elysium that I'm still here. Thank you very much.
Oh, no need to thank me. I get reassigned to different teams pretty often. We're all teammates, so we should help each other out.
Even so, I must still thank you for your kindness.
Absinthe? You're always so stubborn when it comes to these things. I have way too many people around me like that. Such as that captain of yours.
Yes, she's one of those people. But have you ever noticed you're very stubborn yourself? The captain doesn't talk much, but she looks so cool. And I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I'm actually a little scared of her.
I get it. She does look very scary.
But you know, she just looks scary and doesn't try to talk to others much. She's actually very easy to talk to. The next time you see her, maybe you should try and say hi to her. She may not look it, but it'll make her really happy. I guarantee it.
It sounds like you two really get along.
Well, I guess we kind of do. After all, she was the one who saved my life. Besides, she can't get by without my help. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been a messenger traveling all around the world right now.
Being popular has its own set of problems. Just as a quick by the way, if you wanna see the story of his rescue by his superior, you can see it in his operator record. I will leave again a link in the description of this video. I seem to remember she's on a solo mission right now. And you're saying she can get by without your help?
This mission's different. Only she alone could handle such an infiltration mission. I just blow her cover. I don't think she has ever teamed up with anyone before me, right? It was pretty terrible at first. She even used to beat me up just because she thought I was annoying. Don't you think that's cruel? Her arts are really something else. I took a single blow and it knocked me out of my senses so terribly that I didn't even know how to get home. It took me a while until I remembered who I was. It affected your consciousness and memories? I didn't know arts could be so dangerous. And
and that someone's here at Rhode Island has arts like that. Yeah, it's not something we talk about often. It's technically classified information, so don't tell anyone else, okay? Anyway, you should try to be more casual. We all get along with each other here. If there's anything you don't understand, come and find me. I'll be happy to help you. More or less what he just said. You don't need to force yourself, though. Just go on at your own pace. Anyone will be happy to help you should you run into any problems. Thanks. Yep, that's right. Don't push yourself too hard. Oh, perfect. Synth, why don't you come to our party? You too as well, Mr. Elysium and Mr. Thorns. It'll be making lots of food from back home. I'll be making lots of food from back home. The festival only happens once a year, but be sure to eat your fill. Well, that certainly gives me something to look forward to. And do look forward to it. I promise you won't be disappointed. A city in grey drab colors. Depressing. Boring. Is that all? Is that how you see that place? Well, my situation isn't quite like yours. I really don't have much to say about that place. It was a simple and boring place to me, and that really is it for me. Besides, I couldn't possibly have gone into the details. One of them is still a child. Don't tell me you've forgotten. The girl is still a student, and she's in a pretty cheerful mood because of the festival coming up. Let's not dampen her spirits. Home. Huh. I wonder what it's like now. I wonder if it's still packed with buildings, and the wind is still so humid with that salty sand on it. Are the streets there still empty, and everyone there's as quiet as they've always been? Who are you asking? How should I know? How would I know? You're right. Tell me, brother, do you think we'll ever have a chance to go back, having run away from that place? I don't think I want to go back. But I can't help but think that perhaps one day I'll go back. And little did he know that he would be partaking in a small little story by the name of Stultifera Navis. Foreshadowing. But yeah, I will leave the link to Elysium's operator record, which contains the story of his rescue and his time before he joined Rhode Island, and the first meeting with the aforementioned leader that he is working with, and why that particular person's arts are, well, that powerful, and why Elysium is so kind of special to that operator. He does have a keen ear, I'm gonna say that. But yeah, this will mark it for today's episode. This will be the first 3 stories, and I'm not really sure yet if I'm gonna split the final 4 into 2 separate episodes or just cram them into a single one, considering the stories are very short going forward as well. So maybe it's just gonna be one more part, but you guys will see when we get to it. But regardless, thank you all for listening and watching this Narration for Rewinding Breeze Part 1. If you did like this episode, please consider leaving a like. It will help me a lot in the algorithm especially, so thank you very much in advance. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. There is a lot of narrated content on the channel, and speaking of how much there is, I took a peek earlier today of how many stories do we have actually left to go through, and when it comes to vignette stories, it's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, and when it comes to the other actual stories, we only have 3 left. So in the past year and a half, I actually managed to cover almost everything. Oh boy. But yeah, you have a huge selection. There's a lot. If you want to listen to anything, almost anything at this point, it is there. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. and I will see you in the next part. So, bye-bye.